Good morning. Right as I was coming out to do my live stream, right at 7:30, Benny spilled boiling hot water all over himself. And so, after administering first aid, I made my way over here to do some stuff with you guys. Now, let's take a look here. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Verse 29. Here we go. Verse 29. Now, as soon as they had come out of the synagogue, they entered the house of Simon and Andrew with James and John. But Simon's wife's mother lay sick with a fever, and they told him about her at once. So he came and took her by the hand, lifted her up, and immediately the fever left her, and she served them. And so there we go. Um, no coffee. Ooh, there's water over here, though. So we find something that's, I don't know, fairly straightforward, is that she, the mother-in-law, was sick, was ill, and she gets healed by Jesus, and then she serves. You know, I do think that a desire to serve, a desire to be used, and a desire to give back to God, all of these things are really just manifestations of a born again spirit. I mean, we see someone who has been given new life and they want to serve the Lord. I feel like the idea of not desiring to serve, not wanting to find some way to give back, not wanting to find some way to honor God and worship God with our hands and feet and our mouths and our actions and deeds, well, at least it's foreign to me. I would struggle to just remain a sitter and a doer, or not a doer, a sitter and a getter, and just a goer. It makes me think about when I moved down to Grandview. We came down here with the intention of planting a church. And in doing so, we had to get the ball rolling. And so until we had, justification of finding a location to meet on Sunday mornings, we decided, well, let's drive on up the road, 20 miles or so, up to Toppenish, and we'll attend there on Sunday mornings while we begin the work of a home Bible study and building a church up in Grandview. And so we attended the church with Dallas Sandoval, whom I know many of you are very familiar with Dallas. And I thought this would be fun. My wife and I were actually a little relieved because we served a lot at our church in Ellensburg. And we thought, well, good. While we put all this time, energy, effort, money, everything right into this work in Grandview, we'll just come up to Toppenish and we'll just learn and sit and just be members of the congregation. We thought, oh, how nice would that be? Well, I go and we sat in our normal spots. I sit in the very front row, front inside corner is where I usually try and sit anytime I visit a church when my wife lets me. She's not as keen on taking the very front and center seats, but I just like being close. I like no distractions, nothing in my way, just me and the guy talking and the worship team. I love being right up in the front. And so we go, and I don't remember what it was exactly, but something was wrong with the worship lyrics. They were in a weird place where you couldn't really see them. They were, their screen was a projector on the whole back wall, and when you put the lyrics in like the middle of the page, where they're, I think naturally on like ProPresenter they're centered, it was behind the worship team, so you actually couldn't really read the words to any of the songs. And so I immediately, I get up and I go to the back and I'm looking back there, and those guys are volunteers and they were trying their best. So I hop in there and I start trying to edit the slides while at the same time I'm trying to keep clicking the next slide. So it's like I'm flipping back and forth between an editing screen and an actual presenting screen. And I got all those slides whipped into shape. I don't know how long it was exactly. Maybe it was 2 months or so. But before long, the guy who had been leading worship there knew that I also was a worship leader. And, well, he left. And it's kind of understandable. He had friends and people who served at the other Calvary in Yakima, and he kind of just wanted to go back there, but he had been holding his position because they didn't have a worship leader in Toppenish. And so then within a couple months, I became the worship leader at Toppenish and led worship there for a year and a half or more. But it was, we'll just sit and get. We'll just come and participate. But it wasn't really doable for me because whenever you see a need, I think there's just this desire to fill the need. Whenever you recognize that there's opportunity to serve the Lord, it just makes sense to do it. And so here with Peter's mother-in-law, he came, he took her by the hand, he lifted her up. Immediately the fever left her, and she served them. I believe in one of the other Gospels, it even actually puts it as immediately, she arose and served them. And I don't know if that is, yes, in Luke's Gospel, verse 39 of chapter 4, and immediately she arose and served them. So, service and salvation, they go hand in hand. When you get saved by the Lord, very quickly you often see that born-again souls want to serve the Lord. So, are you serving the Lord? You should be. Figure something out. See where there's empty holes and fill them. And it can be little stuff. If there's nothing else to do, go empty the garbage. Make sure all the lights get turned off at church. I have found if you want to find ways to serve, just show up early or stay late. The people who come early and the people who stay late, there's always things that need to get done. And we could always use more help. So, there you guys go. Pray that you guys are serving because you're saved. That's what I was going to say. All right. God bless you guys. Have a great day. Pray that Benny does okay after his big burn that he just had. We'll go check on him here in a sec. Take care, guys. See you tomorrow.